Welcome back to EFD, where today we're running through 10 players who almost single-handedly won their club the Champions League. Mbappe and Aguero take note. 10. Edwin van der Sar. People rightly look back on 2008 as the year of Cristiano Ronaldo. The Portuguese forward won his first Ballon d'Or that December after scoring 42 goals the previous season, topping the Premier League and Champions League scoring charts and winning both competitions with Man United. But arguably even more influential to the Red Devils' European success that year was goalkeeper Edwin van der Sar. Despite being 37 when he lined up against Chelsea in the final, the Dutch stopper was in the form of his life, having let in just 3 goals in 9 Champions League appearances up to that point, conceding just once in the knockouts and having shut out Frank Rijkaard's Barcelona twice in the semis. And he was the eventual hero in Moscow, saving Nicolas Anelka's decisive penalty in the shootout. He may have had the human shield of Vidic and Ferdinand in front of him, but van der Sar was nevertheless crucial to Ferguson's second UCL victory. That season he averaged 4 saves per goal conceded, which is pretty astounding considering that's what David de Gea managed in 17-18 with Smalling and Jones as his protectors. And it wasn't the first time for the Jolly Green Giant either. 13 years earlier, he had helped Ajax lift the Big Eared trophy, keeping 8 clean sheets and conceding just 4 goals in the process. 9. Wesley Sneijder. The second Dutchman on our list, Wesley Sneijder, made an immediate impact when he signed for Inter Milan from Real Madrid in 2009. And if you want to make an immediate impact to your life, why not hit the subscribe button for more great content on EFD? One of a number of stars moved on by Los Blancos to make way for Ronaldo, Kaká and Benzema, the playmaker quickly became the focal point of Jose Mourinho's project at the San Siro. The Nerazzurri embarked on a remarkable campaign under the Portuguese coach, becoming the first and only Italian side to complete the treble. With Mourinho at the peak of his powers, they were morphed into a ruthless counter-attacking machine, with everyone in the side pulling their weight defensively. However, without the supreme creativity of Sneijder, it's unlikely their run to Champions League glory would have been possible. The man labelled the Sniper formed a near telepathic understanding with striker Diego Milito that season, and as a result got 6 assists in 11 UCL appearances, more than anyone else that season, as well as 3 goals. Not only that, but he stepped up when it mattered most, with 6 of those goal involvements coming in the knockout stages, linking up with Milito for 2 goals against Guardiola's Barca in the semis, before assisting him for the winner in the final. 8. Roy Keane. Unlike all our other entries, Roy Keane never actually appeared in a Champions League final. However, without him, we don't reckon Man United would have got anywhere near the trophy in 1999. The Irishman took over the club captaincy at Old Trafford from the retiring Eric Cantona in 1997, but missed most of the season with a cruciate ligament injury as Arsene Wenger wrestled the Premier League trophy from Alex Ferguson's grip. So it's fair to say he was having none of it the following campaign. Having made just 11 appearances in 97-98, he played in 55 games in 98-99, a record for his United career. And none of his performances were as important as the one he pulled out against Juventus in the Champions League semi-final. 11 minutes into the second leg in Turin, United were 2-0 down and facing elimination from the competition. But 13 minutes later were headed back into the game by Keane. However, the captain soon had his night soured after a late challenge on Zinedine Zidane saw him receive a booking which ruled him out of the final should his side have progressed. But unlike Paul Gascoigne, who had broken down in tears after meeting a similar fate in the same stadium 9 years earlier, Keane saw he had nothing to lose and put in the ultimate central midfield performance, putting himself everywhere to break up play and spring the counter. United came back to win 3-2 and lifted the trophy a month later. 7. Henrik Larsson. Considering he spent the majority of his career in Scotland, it was somewhat surprising that after moving from Celtic Park to the Camp Nou as a 32-year-old, Henrik Larsson was lauded as an idol by none other than Ronaldinho. Whether or not that particular quote was an embellishment by Barca's Brazilian magician, the Swedish striker went on to write his name into the club's history books in just 2 seasons. Despite having his first season in Catalonia cut short by injury, Larsson extended his contract at Barcelona for a second campaign, vying for a place in an attack containing the aforementioned Ronaldinho, Samuel Eto'o and a teenage Leo Messi. Age and fitness meant he was not a regular starter under Rijkaard, but his impact off the bench was valued highly, and he entered the 2005-06 campaign with 15 goals and 5 assists in all competitions, with an average of a goal contribution every 105 minutes. And while he may not have been central to the club's Champions League campaign in the same way as Keane in '99 or Sneijder in 2010, his role in the final was unquestionable. With the Blaugrana 1-0 down and struggling to break through a defensively resolute Arsenal side, Larsson was brought on with 29 minutes remaining. It worked. He was a nuisance for the Gunners' backline and in the space of 5 minutes set up Esso to equalise before masterfully picking out Giuliano Belletti for the winner. Larsson left for his native Sweden that summer and left his teammates with a historic triumph. He wasn't there for a long time, but it's fair to say he had a good time. 6. Gareth Bale. Very few players can lay claim to Gareth Bale's tally of 4 Champions Leagues, and even fewer can say they scored the winner in 2 finals. The Welshman's arrival at Madrid in 2013 was a big moment, with the world transfer record getting broken for the first time since Florentino Perez's capture of CR7 4 years earlier. Bale had no hope of eclipsing Ronaldo in his first season and has never been able to get near the talismanic status of the Portuguese all-time great. But he nevertheless stepped up when he was called upon in 13-14, scoring a spectacular winner in the Copa del Rey final against Barca before netting the decisive goal against Atleti in the UCL final a month later. But it was 4 years later that the Welshman played the most pivotal role. With Cristiano having a rare off night against Liverpool in Kiev, Bale was brought on with 29 minutes left on the clock, just like Larsson 12 years earlier. He changed the game, scoring a brace with his acrobatic first being one of the greatest goals ever scored in the competition. Los Blancos lifted their 4th Champions League in 5 years, and Perez decided to keep Bale that summer, selling Ronaldo instead. 5. Petr Čech. The second goalkeeper on this list, Petr Čech was the shining star of an otherwise faltering Chelsea side in 2011-12, with the club recording their worst Premier League finish of the Abramovich era at the time. Equally, Čech kept 10 clean sheets in the league, which by his own lofty standards was a significant downturn. However, his form in the Champions League was tremendous, as the Blues followed a fairy tale trail to the final in Munich. He put in a man-of-the-match display against Barcelona at Stamford Bridge in the semis, as the Blaugrana laid the Chelsea goal under siege, firing 24 shots with none finding the net. And in the final against Bayern, Čech was a different beast. Again, the Blues were dominated, with the Bavarians managing an outrageous 43 shots in the 120 minutes of game time. While they only put 7 on target, Čech kept out all but one of them, including a crucial save from a penalty in extra time, which would have certainly secured Bayern the trophy. And he repeated his heroics twice in the shootout, handing manager Di Matteo the most unlikely of triumphs. Chelsea may not have truly deserved the Champions League in 2012, but thanks to Petr Čech, the club's golden generation took the prize they probably should have won in years previous. 2005 and 2008 come to mind. 4. Steven Gerrard. Like Chelsea in 2012, Liverpool probably shouldn't have won the Champions League in 2005. They finished the Premier League season behind David Moyes' Everton in 5th, exited the FA Cup to Burnley in the 3rd round, and Jimmy Traoré somehow made 10 more appearances than Xabi Alonso. But the Reds rode on a wave of magic in the UCL, and much of that magic was conjured by captain Steven Gerrard. The Anfield skipper only scored twice in the competition all season, but they were the 2 defining goals of the campaign. The first was a last-minute screamer against Olympiacos to send the Reds through to the knockouts by the skin of their teeth, while the second ignited their historic comeback in the final. And Gerrard's performance in Istanbul was remarkable. He gave a galvanising speech at half-time, won the penalty for Xabi Alonso to equalise, and ended the game filling in at right-back as Benitez held out for the shootout. These heroics led to the Liverpool faithful labelling him the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. 3. Kaká. But that night in Istanbul also galvanised a certain Brazilian, Kaká, who despite playing a blinding opening 45 minutes, ended up on the losing side. Just 23 years old and having just finished his 2nd season at the San Siro, he was already being relied upon as Milan's chief creator, getting 5 assists across the quarters, semis and the final. But come 2007 and the Seleção international had become one of the world's elite all-round forwards. He hit a staggering 10 goals in 13 UCL appearances from attacking midfield, averaging a strike every 108 minutes, with his performances against Man United in the semi-finals making Cristiano Ronaldo look like a pretender. And off the back of this unbelievable form, Kaká had the chance to right the wrongs of 2005, as the Rossoneri came up against Liverpool in the final once again. This time they got it right, and Kaká was able to taste European glory for the first and only time in his career. But at 25, it was sadly the best it would ever get for him, as his move to Real Madrid 2 years later would see the tables turn, with the Brazilian becoming an outcast and his old foe Ronaldo taking centre stage. 2. Lionel Messi. It's fair to say Lionel Messi has won Barcelona a lot of silverware, especially in the last 5 years. However, it was arguably during the club's peak under Pep Guardiola that the GOAT was the most influential in their European glory. The 2010-11 campaign saw the Blaugrana dominate domestically, winning 15 consecutive games between October and February. But it was no walk in the park, with Mourinho's Real Madrid scoring 102 goals in the league and finishing just 4 points off them in second. And it was a similar situation in Europe. Barca were near unstoppable, with Messi contributing to goals in every game he started en route to the semis, where they met their El Clasico rivals. Once there, it was a bloody affair, with the first leg at the Bernabeu featuring 2 red cards and generally making for a terrible watch. But one of the worst Clásicos in modern history was illuminated in one swift move by Messi, who skinned 4 Real defenders to score the goal which effectively settled the tie. And he was similarly talismanic in the final, scoring a peach of a winner to put Ferguson's Man United firmly in their place at Wembley. Messi ran away with the Ballon d'Or later that year, winning double Ronaldo's votes, and based on his UCL performances, he got nothing less than he deserved. 1. Cristiano Ronaldo. But in the debate of most influential Champions League player ever, the conversation has to end with CR7. Since 2011, the Portuguese superstar has never failed to hit 10 goals in European competition, although at the time of recording he may struggle to repeat the feat with Juventus. Nevertheless, this illustrates just how important he was to Real Madrid's assault on the competition this decade. In 2013-14, the season of the fabled La Decima and Los Blancos' first triumph since 2002, Ronaldo hit 17 goals and 4 assists in 11 games, hitting the back of the net every 58 minutes. 2 years later, he hit 16 in the competition and scored the winning penalty as Real once again overcame Atleti in the final, and in 2017 bagged a brace to dismantle Juventus in Cardiff after netting hat-tricks against Bayern and Atleti in the quarters and semis. And it isn't just the numbers that make Ronaldo's UCL contributions so impressive. He's done it in some style too, whether it be his 40-yard screamer against Porto for Man United or that overhead kick against Juve in 2018, CR7 has provided some of the tournament's greatest ever moments. So those were our 10 players who won their club the Champions League, but have we missed anyone out? Let us know in the comments below and we could do a part 2. If you enjoyed this video, why not hit the subscribe button and the like button while you're at it? And yeah, go and check out FDFC and Sat Was the League, because they're both popping off right now. See you later.